Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is come onto all fours. And it's really important that when you come into all fours, you plug your hands in really well and plug your tops of your feet in really well. And then if you have a monitor going, or if you have a mirror or anything reflective, or a person with you, I want you to look over and verify that your knees are truly directly under your hip sockets and that your wrists are truly directly underneath of your shoulders, because it does matter that you have 90-degree angles here. All right. And I want you to push the shins down into the floor. Engage your lower belly just a little bit, like 2% of what you can do. Look forward and start to circle your butt in clockwise circles. So clockwise is the spin of time. Clockwise is the spin of the clock. Keep spinning. It's the spin of the earth. See if you can engage your abs just a little bit more as you're doing this. 3, 2, 1. And then pause at the center and then use effort to reverse the direction. So it's hard to change directions. When we're in winter solstice, the sun seems to stop on its march in the direction that it's been in, and then it reverses. So we'll also do a lot of pausing and reversing. Great. A few more times to the left to counterclockwise, which is the personal spin. The spin of the bases of baseball. And it's a counter revolution because you're going against the grain. Beautiful. It's like going back in time. And then pause and then turn on your playlist. And the first song is called Dawn Chorus. So turn that on in 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice. All right, plug your hands in once again, plug your knees in once again. I'm gonna back up a little bit and hope you can still hear me. And curl your toes under, but don't change where your knees are. And then float your knees 2 inches off the ground using your core. So be careful that you're not leaning back. We're not doing child's pose. You still put some weight forward, but your knees are hovering off the ground, and feel what you have to do in the low belly for that to happen. So good. Keep it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Lift the face, lift the tail. Exhale, round the spine. Cat pose. Once more, inhale, look forward, lift up. Exhale, round the spine down. So good. Come back to a flat back shape. Repeat what we just did, or if you want more of a challenge, you're gonna put your toes flat. So like where the shoelaces and the tongue of your shoes go, that's gonna be on the ground instead of the underside of the toes. And then float your knees. Keep your knees at that 90-degree angle. Keep plugging your hands in. Reach your heart a little bit forward. Look a little bit forward and stay here for 5. Low belly pulls in and up. 4, 3, beautiful. 2, and 1. Put the knees down. Good. Look down at your hands, and we're going to turn the hands the other way, but look at where your wrist creases are. They're going to stay in the same spot. So take your left hand first, pick it up off the ground, and then spin it all the way around so that even your shoulder gets in on the rotation. And then plant it so that the heel of the left hand lines up with the heel of the right hand. Good. And then get the other one. So sweep the arm of the right all the way over and around. Spread your fingers, plug your hands in. See if you can get your shoulders over your wrists, even though this is weird. And then look at your arms and see if you're locking your elbows. And if you are, you're just going to put a little bit of bend so the elbows go back towards your legs. So now we've got like dog legs with backwards paws. And then inhale, lift your heart and lift your tail at the same time. And then exhale and spread your toes and drop your tail and drop your head. And then let's take those 3 more times. Inhale, spread your fingers, exhale. This is for your lungs. Inhale, and your collarbones. Exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale. So good. Flip your palms around. Now we're gonna step to plank. So with one foot and then the other, it's a big step back. So we've got straight legs. Take an inhale and exhale here. Good. Downward facing dog. Without moving your feet, without moving your hands, lift your butt up, bend your knees, press your belly towards your spine. So good. And then come back to plank. Bring your right knee to your left elbow. Put it back. Good. Put your left knee on your right elbow. And then take it back. And then march. And if you have the music on, you can use the beat of the music. Good. And don't give up. These are called mountain climbers. And when you're climbing up a mountain, it's important not to give up. Good. So the first fire we lit, we have 3 fires in our bodies. We lit the fire of the pelvis. Then when we started to fire up our arms, we lit the fire of the heart. And now we're looking forward. We're picturing a mountain trail. And we're having to use the fire of our imagination to keep us going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, go faster. 5, 4, race yourself. 3, 2, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, lift your butt. Good, feel free to bring it down if you need a second. But we have to build artificial suns. We have to build fires in the winter. And it's a manual process. All righty. Come back up to downward facing dog if you've left. Beautiful. Bend your knees so your heel bones fly back. And then whatever your heel bones of your feet are doing, do that with your pelvis. So the heels fly up and back. The heels of your butt fly up and back. You look forward. Good. And then hop, step, or float to the very top of your mat. Measure 2 fists distance between your big toe joints. That's hip distance feet. Relax your arms down. Relax your head down. Bend your knees slightly and then gently, slowly roll all the way up to standing. So good. We're going to do 1 round of Katona sun salutation, which is pretty different from the sun salutation we're used to in vinyasa. First, inhale, take the arms up. Interlace your hands together behind your head. Okay? So you've got a basket on your skull, and then bring your elbows in. Look up, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Drop the arms when you get to the bottom. Step your right foot all the way back, like you're in a plank. Right knee down. Make sure that your left knee is right over your left heel. And then inhale, Anjaneyasana, take the arms up. Good. Exhale, bring the hands down. All right, now it's going to get interesting. Move your right knee a little bit to the left so it's in the middle. Okay? We're going to be practicing on a tightrope from here on out. Curl your right toes under. Press into your hands. Step your left foot back so that your legs are crossed. Push your hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, keep your knees bent, keep your butt sticking up, and come forward to a plank. Good. Downward dog. Look forward, step your right foot forward, put your left knee down. So you're on a tightrope when we do these lunges. Keep your left knee behind the right heel. It's really challenging. Good. But this is the small aperture that we're working with. Good. Both hands down. Wiggle your right foot even more to the left. Step forward so you're in a forward fold with the legs crossed. Exhale, lower your head. Plug your feet in. Now this part's really important. Stay in your feet by bending your legs a little bit. Bend your knees a bit so you don't fall. And then interlace your fingers again at the back of your head. Elbows down. And then you're going to roll up Head coming up last. Good. So you're up at the top. Reach both hands up. Bring them to prayer. Good. And then sweep the arms down, around, and up. Cup the back of your head again. Inhale, look up. Back bend with the legs crossed. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Step your back foot back. Put the knee down. I'm on my left foot on the back, but if you're not, it's not a big deal. Tightrope, inhale, lift up. Press your feet into the ground so you don't fall down. And then exhale, hands down. Cross leg, downward facing dog. Push the kneecap on the left leg forward into the pit of the right knee. Do a back bend here, so lift your hips up. And then shoot it forward to a plank. Take it back up. So good. Left foot to the top of your mat. Right knee down. Both arms up. Exhale, hands down. Left foot makes its way to the right. Cross your legs and forward fold. So good. Interlace your fingers behind your skull. Press your feet down and roll up. So good. When you're up at the top, your elbow points are pointing straight up. And then unhook your hands and step your feet apart. So good. All right, look down and measure your feet once again. So they're hips width distance. Another way that you can measure is by turning the toes in and seeing if they touch the other foot. All right, so that was our narrow practice of lunges. Now we're gonna do wider lunges, and you'll see how when the aperture is bigger, the base is wider, the stability is there, and then we can put so much more breath into these poses. All right, so inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, plank. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Left knee down. Left toes flat, and get off the tightrope this time. So make sure that the right foot has its own lane and the left knee, left foot have their own lane. Plug the ball of the right foot in. Reach your two arms forward like with fists, okay? And then fly forward and up as you build your lunge. Good, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, staying there. I'm just moving to see you. Inhale and exhale. Make cactus arms. Keep your fists. Plug the bottom of your right foot down. Plug your left shin in. Lift your heart. And then turn to the right. And keep the cactus arm. So when we normally twist, the arms do a lot of the work. When we're in the cactus shape, we don't get that luxury. So see where your spine can actually go. Good. Come back to the center. Put your right hand inside of your right foot. If you put your right hand inside of your right heel, then your tricep and your calf muscle can squeeze together. Good. Move your left knee, the back knee, out a little bit to the left so you have an even wider stance. Okay? And then left hand goes onto the small of your back. Press your right shoulder and your right leg together and then start to spin up towards the ceiling. If you're comfortable to do so, reach the left arm all the way up. So modified side angle. Good. Take both hands down. Curl your back toes under. We're going to swivel what the back foot is doing. So you're going to come to face the long edge of your mat. Your right knee is bent. Your right toes are pointing to the front of your mat. Your chest and hips are facing the left side. Now straighten the right leg. Toes can go down, or the heel can hug in and the toes point up. All right, we're gonna do a modified side plank. So take your arms out to the sides and then go towards the left. Left fingertips plug in, right fingertips reach up, and then sweep the arm over the ear, chin to the armpit. Lean back. Beautiful. Come back up to the top. This one will be, sorry, there's a siren party. This one will be a modified triangle. So put a little bend in right knee, lean forward, plant your hand behind your foot somewhere. Left hand goes up. And do a little back bend in your upper back here. Good. All right, both hands come down. Turn yourself back around so you're in all fours facing the front of your mat. And then plank. Good. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Good. Inhale, cobra pose. And then float your hands up. Stretching your collarbones wide. I'm just letting someone in. Stretching your collarbones wide and reaching your heart forward. So think like a telescope. Good. One more inhale here. Exhale, put it down. Make your way back to downward facing dog, and we'll do all that on the other side. So just like the sun, come to the middle before we switch directions. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Right knee down, right toes flat. Keep your torso attached to this front thigh, and then punch your hands forward. So the reason we do this is to test the stability of the front leg and the bend of that knee. So if it's truly at 90, this will support you. Lead with your fists, go up. Yes. Press that left foot down. Hold your ground. Spread your right toes out. So, so good. Bend your elbows to cactus. Inhale, get a little taller. Exhale, twist to the left, as far as you can go without straining. Good. Inhale to the middle. Put your hands down. All right, left hand inside of left foot. Arm and leg are married for this one, okay? Take your right knee a little bit further out to the right and take your foot with you. Sweep your right hand to the low back. Your elbows pointing up like a chicken wing, okay? And then lean into the leg. So you're leaning your heart towards the left side of your mat. And then slowly spin your head up. Keep pressing the elbow into the leg and vice versa. That's going to help you with the twist. And then reach the top arm up if you want to go there. Maybe chin towards the armpit. Armpit towards the heart. Good. Both hands down. We'll do that funky transition. So you might have to turn away from me. That is okay. I'll still be talking. Turn towards the left side of your mat with your left knee bent and your right leg like a pillar. And then straighten your left leg. Modified side plank. Take the arms out to the sides. Right fingertips down. Left fingertips up. Good. And then reach overhead if you can. Good. Inhale, press into the shin and the right foot to be able to come back up. Good. And then modified triangle. So good. Inhale back up to the center. Place your hands down, face the front. Come back to that plank. We got to keep the fire burning. Put your knees down on the earth. Lower chest and chin down. Ashtangasana. Straighten your arms so your thumbs point down. Spread your fingers. Bring your legs together. Inhale, lift your chest. Telescope your chest forward. Inhale again, lift the arms. Reach the arms back. Inhale one more time, lift the legs. And exhale, put your hands down, Cobra or up dog. Leading with the heart. Good. Press the feet down. Exhale, downward facing dog. So good. Look to the top of your mat. Hop, step, or float forward. Good. Measure hips width distance for your feet one more time. You can do that by spinning a heel or spinning a toe. So good. And then reach your arms up and interlace your thumbs together. All right, I'm going to come closer. Pretend I'm still standing up. Cool. There's a little bend in your elbows. Now press down through your left foot, reach up through your fingers, and use your right thumb to pull your torso over towards the right. Press your left foot into the earth. On your next inhale, come back up to the center. We pause in the middle. And then we reverse directions. Use your left thumb to pull yourself over. Press your right foot into the ground. So good. Inhale to the top. Exhale, release the hands down. Now, bend your knees a little bit so that we can find the crease of the hips. Because if we stand with the knees locked, there's no crease here. But if you soften the knees, you start to feel a little valley. And it's from there that we want to do our hinging, okay? You can even put your fingertips right here in this hinge. Make sure your feet are still hips width distance apart. Telescope your heart forward and then drape down. Good. You can measure now just to verify with 2 fists. Beautiful. Plant your hands and step back to a high plank. And we'll do that same posture again, just in a different relationship to gravity. So put your right foot on the tightrope, put your right hand on the tightrope, and then side plank. Reach overhead. Think that you're still doing that standing pose. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to plank, regular plank. Pause in the middle before we reverse directions. Good. And then get the left hand and the left foot on the same line. Side plank, left arm down, right arm up. Good. Move it slowly, and you'll be able to go farther. Good. Both hands down. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees, lift the hips. Step your right foot forward between your hands. This time, don't put the back knee down. Swivel the back heel down so you're at 45 degrees in the left foot. All right, our first warrior posture of the night. Inhale your arms up, warrior 1. Good. Inhale here. Good. And exhale. Right knee continues punching forward. Make 2 fists. Straight arms. And then without changing what your legs are doing, lean over that top thigh, just like we did before. Now make sure you're not on the tightrope anymore. So we want a wide base for the legs, a wide aperture for the breath. Good. A big window of daylight for the fire. Hold hands behind your back. Keep reaching your knee forward. And then bow to the inside of this leg. Go down through your heart, but at the same time you go up through your fist. You go forward through your right kneecap. And you go back through your right hip crease. Good. Put both of your hands down. Amazing. And then walk yourself around until you're facing the long edge of your mat. And depending on your setup, you might have to move so that you can both be in this pose and also see the screen, but that's okay. So come to that. Heels are slightly wider than toes. Inhale, get longer. And exhale, fold in. See if you can bring your weight into the fronts of your feet a little bit. Good. So lean forward, even though that's scarier. Forward is the future, backwards is the past. So, so good. Alrighty. Come to your fingertips and put them halfway between your feet, but forward of your belly button, okay? Fingertips. Spin your heels in and maybe toe heel a couple of times. We're coming to Utthita Konasana, the goddess, okay? So, thighs make one line, or approximately. Straightens the spine, and then as below, so above. Good. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Make two fists. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, open the hands. Two more like that. So inhale, close the fists. You can even close the eyes. Exhale, open the mouth, open the fists. Let some heat out. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Sweet Jesus, those legs. Take your hands forward. Oh, mercy. Turn your toes back in and forward fold. See if you can go a little deeper after you lit up the fire of your legs with that goddess pose. Really nice. Now turn your right foot towards the short edge of your mat and move your left foot out a little bit so that they're not on the same line anymore. Put a gentle bend in your right knee, but your right toes are still pointing to 12 o'clock. Put your palm or your fingertips 3 inches behind your heel. So your elbow and your knee are going to intersect. Left hand on your low back. Start to spin. As you spin, you might straighten the right leg. And then left arm up. Forming an upward facing triangle with your 2 feet and your hand. Good. Look down. Both hands down. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Bend your front knee. Bend your back knee. And then come to all fours. All right. So I'm going to assume our 3 fires are all still absolutely lit. So we need to circulate it to heat all the rooms of our house. So plant your wrists right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. And this time, inhale to cat pose. So inhale and curl up, and exhale and come forward. Inhale and curl up, exhale and open forward. Inhale, exhale, speed it up. Not full like mosh pit speed, but faster than usual. Think that this waving of the spine is like a ceiling fan that's circulating your heat around. Good. Curl your toes under. Step back to plank. Look forward, pull your heart forward, and then lower all the way down to the ground. Ashtangasana, we did it before. Good. All right, this time, arms back. Inhale, lift your chest off the ground. Keep reaching your hands back. Inhale, possibly lift your legs off the ground. Make a fist with your hands. And then think that someone's pulling that fist straight back as you lift your heart. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Turn your head to one side and totally relax. So you're like a puddle of a melted human on your mat. So good. Bring your hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Every time we're going to come to the middle before we switch directions. So good. Step your left foot through. Good. Make sure you have a wide aperture. So put your left or your back heel down, your right heel, but then make sure that the 2 feet aren't on the same line. They should be separated. Beautiful. Warrior one, and we're in it for the long haul. You know it on this side. Take it up. So when the days are shorter, we have to burn fires for longer, right? Lift your chest. Reach your 2 fists up. Good. Now I'm going to challenge you to take your stance even wider, and that means left to right, not front to back. So toe heel your left foot out even more, so you have a bigger base. And then inhale here. Exhale, fold from your hips, and shoot your 2 fists forward. As you shoot your 2 fists forward, you're reaching back with both butt bones. Reach your hands back, hold hands. Straighten the elbows. Get the heels of the hands together if you can. Bend the left knee even more, and then go for a dive. So if you were doing your pose right in the center of the earth, your fists would be punching up to the North Pole, and your left foot would be plugging down to the South Pole. Put both hands down and swivel. Face me once again, even if it's awkward, and take that wide leg forward fold. So good. If you've got a block, you can put it right here. So to show you from the side, my hands are forward. It's almost like a down dog or a tabletop. So you can have a block right here, but it's not necessary. All righty. Keep your knees a little bit bent. Left fingers to the block or the floor. Right hand to your low back. Reach forward through your heart. And then stay forward. Stay with your weight in the balls of your feet and roll yourself up towards the ceiling. At the last second, reach the top arm. So good. Let's bring that hand down. Put it on the back first. We're reversing our trajectory. Come to the center, put the right hand down. Put the left hand on the low back. Again, your knees are bending forward. You're shooting your kneecaps forward. Shoot your skull forward. So you have a long axis, and then rotate. Oh, there's dandelion, and then reach your left arm up. You can even come onto your toes. That sounds like it'll be harder, but it helps you go forward, which you need. All right, both hands down. Spin your heels in. Utkatta Konasana. Put your forearms on your thighs. Good. And then twist to one side, look over that shoulder. And then twist to the other side and look over that shoulder. All right. What we're about to do is, in my opinion, the hardest thing. So put your fingers down. If where you're facing with your nose is 12 o'clock, walk your hands over to 2 o'clock. Keep your legs in the same shape. So don't let your left knee come with you. Plant your right hand inside of your right foot. Bend your knees. Left hand to your low back. Keep the knee bent. Twist it open. Press down through the ball of your left foot so you don't lose that side of you. And then reach up. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Pass through the center. Good. And then walk it over to 10 o'clock. Don't bring your right knee with you. Keep it pressing to its own side. Left hand inside of left foot. Really bend the knees. Right hand to low back. Spin up. Reach the arm. Oh, legs. We have to have really strong legs to march through this year. Good. Okay, both hands down. Okie dokie, you're done with that one. Spin your heels out. Forward fold once again, and just be really heavy in your upper body. You can hold opposite biceps or opposite elbows and just literally hang down. Hang down, go below the horizon, go below the northern hemisphere. While we're experiencing the depths of winter, the people opposite us on the globe are experiencing the longest days of summer. So good. All right, make sure that you're bending your knees to come back up and gripping the floor with your feet. Hands to your hips, and then rise. All righty. Turn your left toes towards the short edge of your mat. Put a little bend in your left knee. Make sure your heels are not on the tightrope. Reach your arms, lean forward, put the hand down. So in the Ashtanga practice that most of us learn from, if you practice vinyasa, then most of that is coming from the Ashtanga lineage. In that lineage, you have your hand right next to the foot or on the toe, but we're actually looking for this today. Spin your right palm so that the armpit's spinning towards the heart. Good. 3, 2, 1, rise up. So good. Face the front of your mat. So if you've moved all the way around, go to the original top of your mat and meet me in a downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Lift up and back through your hips. So good. So take a break at any time. I'm going to talk you through some of the mechanics of down dog. So if you need to tap out, you can tap out and rejoin. But down dog is a great illustration of polarity and the two extremes. So extreme winter and extreme summer. And then how we mediate those extremes. So the way we mediate is by having a conjunction, having the word and. And a conjunction in the body is the bend of a joint. So bend your knees if they're not bent yet. And then think in your mind that from the back of your knee, I go down from the back of my knee to my heel, and I go up from the back of my knee to my sitting bone. The heels might never touch the ground in this version of the pose, but yearn the heel bones back and press down, get punchy with the balls of your feet. Good. Flick your tailbone up so you're almost doing a back bend. If your head is dropped, lift your head an inch or two, and already that will change the tilt of your pelvis. James, bend your knees more, like aggressively bend. Yes, and then swing your butt up to the ceiling. Yes, that's it. I know, we're doing it weird tonight. So good. And then from your armpits, think part of me is going up to my seat, and part of me is going down to my hands. Good. And then the big, big hinge of the hips mediates all of it. Oh my God, we're on fire. So good. Everybody put your knees down. Take a rest. If your wrists hurt, shake them out. Dog poses are for stamina, and you're definitely earning stamina when we hold them forever. So good. Perch up on your sitting bones, on your heels, or sit however feels good to you, but make sure that you can lift your spine on a vertical axis up. And then take your two hands and interlace them together all the way to the webbing. Okay. Now we're going to do something a little crazy. Take them up overhead. That's not the crazy part though. And then bring them behind your head, but above. Okay. So they're kind of like hovering where a big messy bun would be, and the palms are forward. Now make circles clockwise with your hands without uninterlacing them. 5. And see if you can do this without jutting your chin way forward. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause in the center and then reverse the direction. So notice which direction's easier, which one's more natural to you. Notice if you're pushing your heart forward to accommodate this, and see if you can get your whole body back on that central axis, like you were a planet. Good. Reach the arms back up. Look up to the hands. Release the hands down. Beautiful. Walk the hands forward. And find a downward facing dog. Last dog series, last warrior series, last lunge series. Good. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Left knee down, left toes flat. Good. Rise up, cactus your arms. And then spin to the right. And then hook your elbow past the knee. Okay, so I'm swiveling. You've got your left armpit on your left or right thigh, yes? And then put your right hand on top of this fist like it's a ball in a mitt, and then twist deeper. If you want more, you're curling the left toes under, and you're straightening the leg, but instead of straightening the leg and taking the heel backwards, you're taking the foot forwards. Get onto the toes. If you're truly on your toes and your knee is at 90 degrees, you will be able to split your arms and twist all the way. Hardest pose in yoga. Both hands down. Good. Let's take a counter stretch to counter that action. So look at your right foot. Swing your right toes and your right knee out to 2 o'clock. And then walk both of your hands over to 10 o'clock. My left fingers are plugging into the ground, and then my right hand is coming onto my right knee. Don't let your pelvis sink here. Keep it perked up. And then start to spin open. Spin towards the ceiling, towards the right. And then reach the right hand up. Again, don't let your butt hang down. Keep it perky. Slide your left foot back a little bit. And then if you wish, pop the foot, grab the ankle. If you've got this bind, then kick the foot into the hand and make yourself into a big loop, a big orbit, a big halo. Both hands down. Good. Downward dog. Left foot forward. Give yourself a nice wide stance for this twist, because we know that the more we complicate the pose, the harder the balancing is. Put the knee down. Rise up with your cactus arms. Spin left. And then thread yourself through so that it's armpit over the knee. Ball and mitt fit. You can stay here and work on the twist. You can also curl the back toes and lift the back knee. But make sure that you're leaning forward instead of hanging out in the back heel. So good. Optionally, split the arms. Put the 2 arms on one line. South pole in the right hand, north pole in the left hand. So good. And then both hands down. Good. Drop the back foot, drop the back knee. Turn your left toes and your left knee out to 10 o'clock. I like to toe heel my foot over when I do that. And then walk your 2 hands, fingertips, over to 2. Left hand to the left, femur. Or another thing you can do if you're a pelvis dropper is put that hand on your tail feather again. And then lift it up to meet the hand. And then twist. And then reach. And then keep the butt lifting and reaching back at the same time, and maybe grab the foot. If you get the foot, then you have a tactical advantage because you have more contact. So kick the foot to do your back bend. Keep pressing the left foot down. So nice. Bring both arms forward. Both knees down. So good. All right. We're going to come into a seat now that's going to last us the rest of practice. So I like to do this in Virasana. That's what is the ideal seat for your spinal alignment, in my opinion, for a long seated arm practice. So sit on 2 blocks if you're very stiff, or if you have any knee stuff, stack 2 blocks like this. or one block if that's all you've got. And then my toes are pointing back and my ankles are hugging the block that I'm sitting on. Good. Reach both of your arms straight up. And then in this position with your arms overhead, imagine that you're going all the way up into the universe. Good. And then think that one solitary raindrop is coming from above and it hits you right on the crown of your head, right at the top. Good. And then that same line, that plumb line, drops down through your throat, through your heart, through your guts, and out through the pelvic floor, which is on your block. Good. And then arrange yourself on that line. So you're not going forward, you're not going back, you're rising up out of the basin of the pelvis. Good. You're preserving all the natural curves of your spine, but you're also alert and awake. And then bend your two elbows and cup your opposite elbows in your hands. Good. Try to get that pointy part all the way into your palm. Inhale here. And then exhale, keep the grip, but just bring them down to shoulder height. Good. Inhale, take them up. Switch sides. Inhale. And exhale, bring them down. Good. One more time. Inhale up. Switch sides. Exhale down. This time, see if switching sides is easier from this position. It depends. And then take it back up. Think that this is the window through which you're looking into the world. Good. And then gently let go of your two elbows. Reach both arms up. Spin your right hand around. You can relax your left arm down for now. Spin your right hand around like you're high-fiving the person behind you. And then bend your elbow and put your right hand on your neck or the base of your skull. And then see if you can walk the fingers down so that your first two fingers are touching your spine. Good. And then take your left hand out to the left and then spin the thumb down, bend the elbow, and look for contact. And that contact could be fingers interlacing, or it could be the left hand touching your back and feeling your breath moving, and the right hand touching your back and feeling your breath moving. Good. And then go up to the North Pole with your right hand or right elbow and down to the South Pole with your left elbow. Take a big breath in and exhale it out. If your fingers are interlaced, let go of them. Keep your right arm where it is. Take your left arm up. And then do the same thing that you're doing with the right arm, but do it with the left arm too. So spin it around, bend the elbow, and then when your hands bump into each other, take them to prayer position. Prayer position behind your skull. Now, what usually happens when we do prayer position behind the skull is we launch forward. So bring it back, bring your sternum back, drop your chin a little bit. Good. And then take your right hand down, keep your left hand up, but walk it down your spine. Thrusting the ribs is definitely one of my bad habits, so I have to manually adjust. Take your right arm out to the right, flip it, and connect. And then keep thinking you're anchoring your heart back to the hands. Good. Reach straight up with the left elbow, reach straight down with the right elbow. Good. Now, keep the right hand where it is, but take the left arm out. Bring it around and find reverse namaste. So that's the prayer position behind you. And if that's just not physically possible today, you're going to fist bump yourself behind you. But what we want to find is that our two forearms make one straight line, one horizon. And then stretch your left collarbone to the left and your right collarbone to the right. And take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And anchor your heart back to your hands. Good. And soften your face. And keep sitting up straight. Good. And keep thinking that you're anchored to the earth through your seat. And keep thinking that you're reaching up to the heavens through your vision. Good. And then gently, gently, gently let go of those hands. Good. Still in our Virasana. Put your left hand on your right kneecap. Put your right hand on the small of your back, fingers pointing down. So your low back is going to feel really concave here. I want you to fill the palm of your hand with your low back. So just take a little bit of the curve out. Sit up straight from there, look to the right, and take a twist to the right. Slowly turn back to the center. Take your right hand off your back and swim it all the way around to make an X with your arms, right? In the middle of an X, the middle of two diagonals is the center. Keep your right hand on your left kneecap and then put your left hand on your back with your middle finger pointing down and your palm on your sacrum. Notice if your sacrum is sneaking away from you, and then fill the hand with the plate of bone that is at the base of your spine. Good. And then gently twist to the left. Try to stretch your collarbones open. So good. Come back to the middle. Sweep your left arm over so that you've got your X in your lap and your two arms bringing you forward into the center of yourself. And then ego wrap your arms. Your right arm should be on the bottom already. Lift up. Bring your lungs forward. Turn your head towards the left so your chin finds your shoulder, and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then lower the elbows and look forward, keeping the upper arms crossed. Find your opposite knees once again. And then take the right arm out, put it on top, and eagle the arms. Make a fist with your top hand. Punch up. As you punch up with your right fist, punch forward with both of your elbows. And then as you go towards a back bend, continue lifting it and think that your pubis, navel, sternum are tracking forward. Good. Turn your face so that you're looking over the right shoulder. You can even rest your chin on your deltoid. Good. And then bring it back to the center. Lower down. Unfold it. And then uncross them. So good. Now, here's the big challenge. Take both arms out to the sides. Flip both of your hands, thumbs down. Bend both of your elbows, and now interlace your fingers to the webbing behind you. Okay? Again, if this is just not going to happen tonight, give it a couple tries. We've really lubricated the shoulders with all our twists and back bending, so you might give it a shot. But we were looking for this weaving together of the two hands that's going right behind your anatomical heart. Okay? Good. You can stay seated here. If you want to take it to an even deeper place, you'll keep the clasp of your hands. You'll lift your butt, get off of your block, and swing your legs around. Okay? So, if you want it, you can take Shavasana with this hand variation. I recommend taking off any big rings that you might be wearing because they'll poke you. But here's how I like to get into this version of the pose. And then once I talk you into it, I'll tell you why we're doing it and why it's symbolic. If you need to stay seated, that's totally okay. So I like to start with my legs obviously in front of me. Move your butt to the middle of your mat. Lace your fingers if you've lost it. And then roll down with control. And think like you're rolling your spine over a block or a prop. So we're not going to crush the hands, I promise. Keep your spine long, and it gives you this little elevation. And then you can have the knees bent the whole time if that helps. But you can also experiment with straightening both legs. And then keep reaching your left elbow to the left and your right elbow to the right. And breathe slowly. Now, it might feel like your hands are going to pop off, but that is not going to happen. So if what you feel is the discomfort of something unfamiliar, then I would challenge you to stay with the breath. Of course, if you feel actual pain in your shoulder and your elbow, anything that's true alarm bells, then back off a little bit. Good. So in the symbolism and the archetype work of the human body, what's associated with everything below the navel is the moon. Everything in the torso, heart, and arms is associated with the sun. And everything that's above the neck is with the stars. And when you bring the left and the right hand together in this way, you're making what's called the third hand, which is solar energy, fire power, radiance, and technique. So the word scholastic comes from the word for sun, because we do our learning by sunlight. Good. Feel your third hand supporting your physical heart. So good. The fire of the hands, the fire of the heart, the fire of the imagination. Keep them all lit. And then if you're in Shavasana, we will gently start to wiggle out. So what I would recommend is bending the knees, planting the feet. Head down, do a little bridge, just a tiny bridge until you can unhook the hands. Slide them out to the side. So nice. Let your hands be face up for a second. It will feel very different. And then in your own time, gently guide yourself back up to a seated position. You can sit cross-legged or in Virasana. It's your choice. And then reach both of your arms up like V for victory. And then in each of your hands, you've got a little cup. Good. And that little cup can collect all the vitamin D and light and radiance and radioactivity from the sun, collect all the lessons of daylight, all the fruits of labor. Good. Feel yourself receiving all of that. And then hook your thumbs together. Empty all of your breath. Take a huge breath in. Fill it all the way up to the top. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Seal it from the bottom, seal it from the top. Keep it in for 3, 2, 1. Unhook the hands, let your arms fall down. So good, everyone. Thank you so much for practicing.